The psychology of people who prefer texting over phone calls. You know that feeling when your phone starts ringing? You stare at the screen a second too long, watching it vibrate, deciding whether to let it pass. But if that same message had come through as a text, you would have answered almost immediately. Most people don't notice this difference. But for you, it's clear. One feels manageable. The other feels intrusive. Could it be spam call or that hated sales pitch? Over time, you may have heard quiet labels attached to that reaction. Aloof. Avoidant. Bad at communication. Spontaneous phone calls should be treated as effortless, not preferring text.
But what if it isn't immaturity? What if it's not social anxiety? What if it's a pattern your brain has learned for a reason?
Phone calls are mentally demanding. They require real-time processing, tone, pacing, interruptions, emotional shifts, all without visual cues. Your brain has to decode intention instantly. Texting introduces space. And space changes everything. When we're given even a few extra seconds to process, our stress response decreases. The amygdala, the brain's threat detector, becomes less reactive when we have time to think. Choosing texting does not mean you're bad at conversation. Many people who prefer texting are deeply articulate. They just articulate best and think better when they can choose their words carefully. Sometimes this preference traces back to earlier experiences. Maybe pauses were interrupted. Maybe saying the wrong thing had consequences. Or maybe you were simply the thoughtful child. Thoughtful depth is more important than speed. Phone calls can feel dense, not frightening. Phone calls demand presence on someone else's timeline. When it rings, you're expected to respond immediately. Texting allows autonomy. You respond when you're ready. For some people, that autonomy feels stabilizing. Here's the paradox. The very thing that makes texting feel safe, the distance, the control, can also filter out warmth. Laughter is typed instead of heard. Silence is interpreted rather than felt. There's always a trade-off. But preferring text doesn't mean you're distant. It often means you care about getting it right. Underneath the preference is conscientiousness, not avoidance. You're not difficult. Your system simply values psychological breathing room.